Hello and welcome to InVision Irving, your business connection. I'm Jolene DeVito, and today we're on location at the Irving Convention Center. We'll get into all the things going on around here coming up in just a moment. Also ahead, a preview of the Texas Musicians Museum planned for Heritage Crossing. Plus, a look inside an Irving school that's celebrating expansion. And how employees of an Irving business are helping homeless animals. Let's get into why we're here today. On the land behind me, big changes could be visible in the months ahead. Groundbreaking should come this year for a new Westin hotel. Here to tell us more about it, Convention and Visitors Bureau Executive Director Maura Gast. Maura, good to see you.
Good to see
Thank
you
you
too,
for
Jolene.
being here.
My pleasure.
So the original drawings look quite impressive. Tell us about it and some of the features we might see.
Well, we're very excited. It was just announced that it'll be a Westin hotel. It's going to be, as you just referenced, the land right here next to the convention center. 350 rooms, about 20,000 square feet of meeting space, a sky bridge that'll connect attendees across a walkway into the convention center. So they'll go from the meeting space in the hotel into the meeting space in the convention center and have a above ground, climate controlled, all that good stuff.
Nice.
300 car parking garage for the hotel, which can also serve as overflow for the convention center and vice versa.
How will this change the types of events that you can attract here?
You know, we've done very well in our first 3 years. We did 864 events in our first 3 years, which is really, really busy. What's going to start to change, it's really not going to be the numbers of events that change as much as the type of events. So you're going to see true traditional trade shows, association annual meetings that are 3 and 4 day, really structured meetings, not as many of the short one-day things that we see a lot of right now. So we're going to be booking 3 and 4 years in advance, getting into the rotation of the state associations or the national associations that come to this part of the country or this part of the state on a regular basis.
That's great news. So big project. How's it being funded? Who's paying for this?
It's primarily the private sector, which we love to hear. This
Always.
is a public-private partnership that truly is a public-private partnership. So the city is providing the funding for the sky bridge and the parking garage. It's providing that funding and then doing a series of tax abatements and incentives that are available for convention center hotels thanks to state of Texas legislation and then thanks to some other things the city was willing to do. And then the private sector is financing the rest of it. There's an equity group that's providing a large portion of the equity financing and then the senior debt, but it's all through the private sector.
Time frame, what do we know about when we might see some progress?
You know, the Starwood announcement happened just a couple of weeks ago, so we're going to see some redoing of some of the documents that have been done. Starwood's actually going to manage the hotel now, which is great news for us. We think that's a huge positive, so we've got to take a little bit of time to redo some papers that had a different company in that role before. But I think that'll should take no longer than the end of April for them to get their paperwork back in shape and then get their financing finalized. I think it's probably mid to late summer, end of the year. It'll take them probably 6 months of architecture and engineering work before they can really break ground. So break ground late this year and then open probably early 2016.
So the hotel is one thing, a big thing certainly, but what else is going on?
Well, and part of that, you know, the city purchased this 40-acre site back in 2001 with the intention of ultimately building it out, and as that vision has evolved, it's evolved into convention center, hotel, and entertainment complex. So we're going to have at the end of this, and really by the time the hotel opens, a 40-acre walkable visitor district that has the anchor of the convention center on one end, the anchor of the concert venue on the other, shops and retail and hotel in the middle, all of it within 7 miles of any of Irving's hotels, so easily accessible for guests who are not here for events at the convention center but are traveling here for other reasons.
Stick around, we've got more to talk to you about. Maura, thank you. At a recent event one floor above us, a lot of guests from local hotels and restaurants expressed optimism about what's ahead, and their optimism seems to be backed up by research. Thomas Gandy covered the Convention and Visitors Bureau's Hospitality Luncheon.
Fun activities that draw thousands of visitors, high-profile sports events, popular hotels, and busy restaurants. All things we associate with visitation and the hospitality industry. But at this meeting, the message is, there is a lot more to it. Consider the impact of business.
The Carpenter Award.
Irving-based healthcare network VHA was among those honored at the Convention and Visitors Bureau's Hospitality Luncheon and first ever awards.
We are delighted and thrilled to be honored by the City of Irving today.
Beginning this fall season, college football will enter a new 4-team playoff era.
College Football Playoff, which selected Irving as its national headquarters, And the nonprofit Pathways were also recognized for their contributions to boost the hospitality industry.
It's very important that everybody know that all of our businesses contribute greatly to our travel industry. Businesses drive people to come and stay for conferences, to select Irving as a place for their meetings, and all sorts of other ways that they make contributions.
They're coming here to visit one of their headquarter operations. They're coming here for training. They're coming here for a convention.
They bring business into Irving, which means they fill up hotel rooms and they fill up seats in restaurants.
At this event, experts talked about the impact of the hospitality industry in Irving.
Irving has kind of a to-die-for demographic of your hotel visitor. Your annual household income is $110,000 per year. They have a lot of money and they spend a ton here while they're in town, averaging about $266 per person per day.
Speakers cited research showing hotel occupancies were up about 4% in 2013. Room rates were up almost 6% from a year earlier. The numbers tell them that teleconferencing is not replacing traveling for meetings.
Face-to-face is still an important part of how business gets done and how relationships get built.
Irving is seeing more restaurants in line with a national growth trend.
Restaurant industry sales are expected to hit a record high in 2014.
People here also heard ideas about marketing the area worldwide, because international travelers generally spend more.
The emerging markets, China, India, Mexico, Brazil, all through the roof. You know, China is at 80%, saying they're going to increase their travels in the upcoming year.
People we talked to say there is plenty of reason for optimism with new restaurants and a planned Westin Convention Center hotel.
We're very excited. We're excited about the restaurants, the new Westin hotel, us being a Westin. Of course, we're happy it's a new sister hotel. I think it will drive a lot of business to the area and further grow our city.
All those things will help my business and all the restaurant business in Irving.
Honoree VHA books more than 6,000 room nights a year. Representatives say the local hospitality industry makes their jobs easier and Irving the perfect location.
All of our hotel partners have been extraordinary in Irving, so we love it here. We love doing business here.
VHA, and there are many, many companies throughout Irving, throughout the entire region of North Texas, that rely on Irving as a destination place, and that is key to our current economy. It's key to sustain our economy.
The Convention and Visitors Bureau says Irving draws about 3 million visitors a year, and most come here for business. The push is to grow the numbers even more.
We're looking for a great year in 2014.
Thomas Gandy for InVision Irving.
We're back now with Maura Gast from the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Seeing the businesses honored in that story brings up a question. When most of us think of this building, we think of the big events of Comic-Con and Zest Fest, but you also have a lot of corporate events that aren't open to the public, correct?
Absolutely. I mentioned earlier the 864 events that we've done since the building has been open, and probably 50 of those are events that have been open to the public that are consumer events. The rest of them are, they are corporations having company meetings or sales kickoffs or those kinds of things. They're professional or trade associations. They are business-to-business trade shows. There's all sorts of things that the public just isn't invited to. They are just private events of those entities that have rented the convention center for those things.
How do you attract those events? Do you find them? Do they find you?
A little bit of both. With a building this distinct, we have the advantage of a lot of inquiries coming in, which is a lovely luxury. But we have a sales team both at the convention center, at the Convention and Visitors Bureau, that are constantly out chasing all sorts of business in all sorts of categories.
Are you at the point where the word of mouth is helping as
Definitely
well?
Word of mouth is happening, and there's a lot of repeat business that we're doing, which is a huge positive. We do well for somebody, they come back, but then we also have what I call the begets. So you bring a certain association here, and then their attendees, there are corporations within that attendee base who see this facility and then come back and want to use it for their own things. The weddings we've done here beget other weddings that happen here because it just brings another group of people into the building. So there's a lot of circles, and everybody who gets exposed to the building, it just for us, is a prospective customer in one way or the other.
So give us your sales pitch. Why is this a great place for those smaller, perhaps private events, and how do they reach you?
You know, location, location, location. Everybody hears us talk about that in Irving, but this is a great location when your customer base is either flying in from out of the country. You've got DFW Airport and Love Field, very easily accessible. You've got the rest of the Metroplex, very easily accessible. You've got a friendly, accommodating, welcoming staff that makes service a priority. You're not going to get lost in this building. You're always going to be a big fish in our pond, no matter what. I tell people there's never going to be a piece of business that's too small for us here, and so we want to take a look at every opportunity. You know, we want to encourage people in Irving that if you are a member of a trade association, a professional association, you know, a scrapbooking society, a barbershop quartet society, your church group, whatever you currently travel to do, think about if you could invite all those people to your home in Irving, and if that's a possibility, to work with you to bring that event home to Irving, to the convention center.
Maura, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Jolene.
Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it. Here's something else that's expected to bring more people through this area. DART says the final phase of the Orange Line, which was scheduled to open in December, will open earlier than expected. This is a look at some of the final construction. You can see it happened to be a rare snowy day when we stopped by. When it's complete, travelers will be able to catch light rail through Irving, past the convention center, and into DFW Airport's Terminal A. The Federal Transit Administration's deputy administrator went on the tour and also talked about how this project highlights the Obama administration's focus on transportation and infrastructure.
The president in the State of the Union address called for ladders of opportunities to be built with our transportation infrastructure. This is an example of that happening here. Exactly what the president wanted to see in terms of investments. The funding opportunities that we were able to bring to this project were extremely helpful. For example, a $120 million loan that specifically helped underwrite the construction of the Orange Line.
If the past is a predictor, Irving can expect big benefits from the Orange Line. DART's latest economic impact report shows light rail generated about $7.5 billion in economic impact across its service area over the past decade. We've shown you some of the new attractions coming to the Urban Center. Now let's head south. The Texas Musicians Museum is expected to draw visitors to Heritage Crossing. Thomas is back with a preview.
This is his 6th grade annual.
Collector Tom Creason believes this may be the first autograph from a Texas music legend.
And if you look right here, center, it is signed by Buddy Holly when he was in 6th grade.
Combine that yearbook with rare records.
One of the only known 78s that was ever made by Freddie King.
Gold records.
This is Freddie Fender.
Posters and more.
Grammy nomination plaque given to Willie Nelson.
And you have the makings of a museum. Just one problem. You're a museum without a home.
Yes, yes.
Creason is curator of the Texas Musicians Museum, which most recently operated in Waxahachie. But right now, this large collection is in storage.
I dig through it and I go, oh great, I remember this piece.
He brought a few items to our studio as he talks about plans to reopen the museum, this time in Irving. Why Irving?
We looked all over. We looked in Fort Worth, we looked in North Dallas, everywhere. Grapevine, you name it, and Irving really had all the tools that we needed and the building space and size that we needed.
That building is here, 222 East Irving Boulevard in Heritage Crossing. It's a former car dealership.
When you view this facility, it has a certain character age to it, I'd say like the 1940s or 50s.
You can see the old hydraulic lifts are still on the floor, but they will be coming out. Just one small part of this building's extreme makeover.
It needs some work, but Tom Creason and his group looked at this building, they see some life here.
The city of Irving plans at least $500,000 in repairs.
We are putting in funds to actually do the remodeling of this building ourselves. We own this property. It belongs to the city.
This is one of those catalyst type projects we were seeking that'll bring people and visitors to our downtown area to enable them to see the possibilities that we have in store.
These old tin walls will be ripped out and replaced with something worthy of displaying this kind of music memorabilia. So what do you envision for this area in here?
This will be the main display where we'll have all the exhibits and things.
The space could also be used for private events. The concrete floors and exposed ceilings will remain.
It's meant to be very open, very flexible.
Then outside,
in the dealership's glory days, this was the car display area. In the Texas Musicians Museum, this is going to be the Texas Music Garden.
it will have stages and a covered listening area. Adjacent to that,
This is envisioned as being the small cafe dining type area.
you're going to use the parking lot across the street.
Yes, that will be the location we have for the 6 community events that Mr. Creason will bring to us.
And when we have some of these outdoor concerts, which is scheduled as part of the agreement with the city, that'll only serve to bring and promote downtown even more to the outside areas.
And then here's another shot of Wayland.
It will be a while before people can see these pieces up close, but Tom Creason cannot wait to show more of his collection.
The world's largest Eric Clapton guitar. It was a piece that was put together for the Crossroads show. It's a 58-foot guitar, and we've actually found out that we can install it in our lobbyway.
I think we all know what SRV stands for.
Yes, we do.
Creason also loves to share the stories behind the items, including this replica Stevie Ray Vaughan guitar.
Stevie would sweat profusely when he was playing. So that guitar, he said it would be wet because even when you pull it out of the case the next day, there's just such a diverse amount of music, and even the other music form that actually developed here and was created here was called Conjunto and Tejano music.
Music always draws people together to your areas. We found that to be a universal success.
The city of Irving is optimistic that this museum will lead to more business in downtown Irving.
We're already having discussions with related types of industry. It's not even open yet, and people are already interested. They know it's here, know it's coming, and they're starting to inquire about coming downtown.
We're really excited about the opportunities that we have there. We're excited about the response we're getting from the community, and we're really excited about bringing in tourists from all over the world to downtown Irving.
Thomas Gandy for InVision Irving.
Now to more of the economic wins the City of Irving and Chamber of Commerce are celebrating. On the entertainment front, iPic has announced plans to build a luxury movie theater with fully reclining seats and call buttons to summon fine food and cocktails. The company says it will be built near the intersection of the George Bush Turnpike and State Highway 114. Now some ribbon cuttings. One for your health is coming up, but first, renovations at an already popular restaurant.
We're celebrating a grand reopening. I opened the restaurant July 24th, 2000, and we've had a really great run, but it was time to do some updating, so we redid all the floors, we redid all the lighting, we added 19 more TVs. Well, the City of Irving is a great place to do business, and we've really cherished our time here. It's got a great business community. It's located really centrally as far as the Dallas area is concerned.
There's so much activity and traffic generated by the hospitality industry. They come here and they see other things in Irving, and one establishment feeds off the other, and it becomes a real destination. That's what any area would like to see.
So we're ready to roll, and we believe into the next 14 years.
Today marks our 5-year anniversary and our grand opening in our new location here in Valley Ranch. We provide not only acupuncture, herbal medicine, massage therapy, and chiropractic all under one roof. So we have over 2,000 herbs. Irving has been an amazing place since we opened. We've actually doubled our patients every single year, where we actually just keep on outgrowing our spaces. And not only mixed diversity, but essentially located. It's been wonderful.
Congratulations on the new office. People generally love to do business with people that they know, like, and trust, and it's almost the mantra of the Irving Chamber. And we do. When we are urged, if we see a Chamber of Commerce plaque, to introduce ourselves, give the card, and try and do business with that business.
I don't think without the Chamber I would be here, quite honestly. They really helped me grow. They really helped me get out there, get my name out there, and really spread the word of who I am and what our clinic's all about.
A strong education system is vital to a healthy economy. That's why the Chamber of Commerce brought a ribbon-cutting celebration to mark the expansion of Menara Academy. Brooke Pratt has that story.
So I heard you wanted to be a pediatrician. one. Meet third grader Carmina Gandhi, motivational speaker, devoted student, and aspiring pediatrician.
I am also an ice skater.
Carmina is unbelievable. She will be my agent.
And making a difference in our community.
She is an exemplar of what our students are here at Menara Academy.
Menara Academy is the charter school Carmina has attended since kindergarten. It recently celebrated the purchasing of this building at 8201 TriStar Drive, which houses its elementary school here in Irving. Before now, the Academy's only been leasing it. The Chamber of Commerce celebrated the grand opening with a ribbon cutting. So what is it about Menara Academy that fosters the growth of kids like Carmina?
It's the best educational organization that I've ever been associated with. I've been in education for 28 years.
It helps kids think beyond what they can do.
When we look at one subject, we look at it in different ways.
The Academy is the only school in Texas that uses expeditionary learning. The faculty picks one topic to focus on, and all learning, math, social studies, science, language arts, humanities, is tied into that topic. The current expedition is space.
We went on many field trips. We've looked in some telescopes so we could study the sun and its prominences and their solar flare.
The children take the ownership of their own learning, and we develop leaders, and they work in groups, and it's a collaborative event. It's hands-on. It's using real-world events to solve problems.
Stephen says that since the teaching model of expeditionary learning is so hands-on, the kids internalize the information much better. I decided to give Gavin, a third grader picked from a crowd, a little quiz about space.
Mercury, it's hot and cold on one side because one side is facing the sun, the other is just facing darkness. The solar flares are the sun's fire shooting out. In between Mars and Jupiter, there's some rocks floating in space, and they call that the asteroid belt.
He definitely passed. Expeditionary learning isn't the only thing that sets Menara apart.
Je m'appelle Carmina Gandhi.
The students choose to study either Arabic or French starting in kindergarten. The school is working on adding Spanish as well.
I study French, and I know English, and my mom's from Mexico, so we speak Spanish, and my dad's from Iran. He speaks Farsi.
On top of a unique learning model and foreign language training, the Academy places a huge emphasis on character development and service. Service the city will benefit from.
We're going to find a need here in Irving, and our students now, some of our expeditions as we call them, will center in on the needs of Irving.
The vision of the school is to soon develop the 3 acres behind the Academy into a track and soccer field, as well as purchase the building across the street to permanently house the middle school, the building that Carmina and her peers will move into in a few years.
It's just amazing. It's a privilege to be here.
If you're interested in finding out more, Menara Academy runs tours every day. Brooke Pratt for InVision Irving.
Time for our good deed, our look at how the business community gives back. Employees from an Irving company chose the Animal Care Campus as the beneficiary of a year-long drive. And take a look at the results.
We are here to donate the linens, blankets, and towels that we've collected for the animal shelter, and then also give them the donation of the cash that we've collected throughout the year.
This particular cash donation is awesome. You know, Irving has an animal assistance fund that allows us to assist animals in need from Irving residents, so any cash contribution is always welcome. And we can never get enough blankets, towels, and those things for the comfort of the animal, so it's welcome.
We selected the animal services because we wanted to grab an organization that we knew people within our department cared for.
We have a lot of animal people at our company and thought it would generate a good interest. And of course, I'm a little biased because I volunteer here.
Irving is blessed with wonderful businesses that help not only local residents, the economy, so we like working with local businesses.
Feels nice. Feels good, and just to be able to help, because we're the voice for the animals.
It feels great to make a difference, especially for animals that are helpless and can't do it for themselves.
If your company is making a difference, let us know about it. Send an email about your good deeds or other business successes to ictn@cityofirving.org and we could feature it on a future show. Thanks for watching this special edition of InVision Irving. From the Convention Center, I'm Jolene DeVito. We'll see you next time.